Hey guys, Grandy Tamias here, doing another Sonic Movie Universe speculation video. Yes, I know it's been far too long, and this is a topic I probably should have covered a long time ago, but today I'm going to be focusing on another particular character we haven't seen yet, this time Rouge the Bat. So, with the second movie having already started the influx of additional game characters such as Tails and Knuckles, as well as the teasing of Shadow, I expect that'll only increase in the third film. I think the next logical step would be to include female characters, because unless you count Longclaw, there have been 0 female anthro-animal alien characters in these movies. Amy Rose is almost a guarantee at this point due to her popularity alone, but given the circumstances around the third film, I think Rouge the Bat has a chance of appearing as well. First is the obvious introduction of Shadow. Both he and Rouge debuted in the same game, Sonic Adventure 2, which the third film is suggested to have its plot somewhat based on, and they have been shown to continue being friends in later games. I think it would definitely be a shame not to have these characters interact, especially considering these films' track record of how faithfully they've adapted the personalities of the characters while also expanding on them. Plus, we could get a live-action version of the Dark Team if Omega eventually shows up too. The second, and probably biggest reason why I think Rouge could appear in Sonic 3 has to do with the second film introducing the Guardian Unit of Nations, or GUN. If this task force is going to remain a fixture in this universe for Sonic 3 and beyond, Rouge could join them as an agent like she was in the games and Sonic X. I think this would be very interesting in the case of the movies, since Commander Walters establishes the fact that GUN was formed to combat alien threats after the collateral damage Sonic and Robotnik caused in San Francisco. So I guess if it weren't for Sonic, Rouge would not become an agent. Although, being that Rouge is an alien, it would kind of go against GUN's purpose if they hired her, but they could probably justify that by saying that they need her allegiance to learn more about the other aliens. In Sonic X, they did kind of do something similar where they caught her first and they made her agree to become an agent, and on her first mission they even put a bomb on her, which reminded me of Suicide Squad. Also, she has been shown to work with Eggman, either as a double agent working for GUN, or voluntarily like in Season 3 of Sonic X. So who knows, maybe she'll work with one of them first and switch to the other. And depending on how much screen time Rouge gets in Sonic 3, they might have to explain how she ends up working for GUN, and adding the whole double agent thing might take too long and be too convoluted. Maybe they could flip the original dynamic where she starts working for Eggman and gets recruited by GUN later. I mean, Jim Carrey's Eggman has already tried employing an alien to his side with Knuckles in Sonic 2, and he's more than likely going to do the same with Shadow in Sonic 3. So I don't see why he'd pass up having 2 aliens working for him this time. Then again, Rouge is far less easily manipulated than Knuckles or Shadow, so maybe she'll turn on Eggman in some way or manipulate him to get to the Chaos Emeralds. The third reason why I think Rouge could appear in Sonic the Hedgehog 3 has to do with Knuckles. Since we all assume the main plot with Sonic is going to center on his rivalry with Shadow, they're going to need something for Knuckles to do. And given that he and Rouge do have a rivalry as well as a romance, that would keep him occupied from otherwise destroying all of GUN's forces and making it easier for Sonic to win against Shadow. Also, depending on whether Sonic scattered the Chaos Emeralds across Earth or even the galaxy, word could spread and Rouge would want to look for them and the Master Emerald too. So yeah, those are all the reasons I can come up with for why Rouge has a lot of potential in the Sonic movie universe and could appear in the third film. Or perhaps sooner, since we are getting a Knuckles TV series for Paramount+. So if she appears there, it would probably have something to do with Reason 3 that I mentioned. Though the synopsis we have right now for that series describes it as being centered on Knuckles and Police Officer Wade, so who knows where Rouge would fit in. Now, I know there are a lot of fans who would be opposed to this, mainly because Rouge does have a certain appeal, but there are ways to mitigate this issue. For starters, they would have to tone down her flirtations for a PG rating, and maybe forego her classic outfit, or any of the other questionable outfits she's worn over the years. Seriously, how did this make it into a Sonic game? In the main universe of Sonic Prime, Rouge has a new look that has more of a secret agent vibe to it, and personally, I would not mind if the movie version of her had this outfit. Speaking of which, her inclusion as part of Sonic Prime's main cast came as quite a surprise since she hasn't been this prominent since the 2006 game. Not to mention she was name-dropped once or twice in Sonic Frontiers, and has multiple variants in Sonic Force's Speed Battle. So maybe Sega and the filmmakers would want to maintain this kind of brand synergy by including her in the movies too, especially if Sonic Prime continues up to when the Knuckles show or Sonic 3 comes out. So, to conclude, do I think it's likely Rouge will appear in Sonic the Hedgehog 3, and do I want her to? I mean, a lot of stuff in the movie universe already seems aligned for her arrival, so I think they could give her a pretty substantial role, hopefully without taking too much time away from Shadow and probably Amy too. And after my video about Gunn and Commander Walters, I am very interested to see how that organization will impact future movies, and Rouge could be instrumental in that. Plus, it seems like Sega is willing to do a lot more with the character now, and she has been interesting when joined with the rest of the cast, at least in my opinion. So, not only do I think her chances of appearing in the third Sonic movie are pretty high, I definitely want it to happen, for all the reasons that I mentioned. Feel free to let me know in the comments what you think. Should Rouge appear in the Sonic movies, and what do you think she could contribute to them? Also, who would you want to voice Rouge? I could see it going either way if they wanted to get an A-list actress, or someone who's more well-known from TV. With all that said, I hope you enjoyed, have a nice day, and thank you for your time.